All right, if you made it to the end of the video, some quick thoughts. I do think this balance issue is definitely an issue right now with Doc. I also do believe there's ways to beat it. Here are two games where we actually struggled and lost.
Get to do that. Call my fancy years.
He might lose all the stuff
Oh yeah.
depending on his retreat path. Is he calling down more
Gonna be
too?
right down the center.
Yep.
Like one. They're both. Oh yeah, that's you. Okay, you're good. Why is he going so hard for this fight?
I think they just think the Dynas feels that important that they lost the game over it.
It's weird.
Yeah, look, there's another squad that just came down. Is it bugged? It keeps coming down.
Over and over again? I don't know. No, isn't there a call in like that?
I'm not look at all the guys dead there, Burden. Yeah, losing all that feel for the song stunted me so bad.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna get mines down because they're definitely going to be able to.
Come on, get the shot off.
German on my side. There's probably.
Yep.
Nope, right there.
Oh, I should be able to get behind it.
I'm here as well.
Oh my god, the pathing.
That's bullshit. I don't think I can pen the front so reliably. Oh, I'll get Panzerjägers. They also got that Sherman out super fast. I saw no vehicle. I should have known they were rushing Sherman. That truck. Get on my Tyranid warriors.
Nothing like playing a short range carry into a full frickin' long range.
Oh my guys died in that.
Doesn't work this way. Or with this faction.
I have another Marauder. We might be able to kill Sherman. It's a little feel-good victory. He got it out. Alright, yeah, let's leave. Now, I believe the main issue right now is each battle group has a battalion that is almost objectively the right choice. And they're all kind of overtuned and very strong and really counter a lot of the playstyles. So with Doc, clearly the Italian battle group is the problem here, specifically that you can get M13s out so quickly in such force, along with the Rad 8. The other big one right now is Airborne. They are also very strong. And I think there's a couple ways you could kind of easily fix this. First is all vehicles probably across the board need like a 15% fuel increase. Light vehicles need delayed at least 1 or 2 minutes, in my opinion. I think the Rad comes out way too quick. I would suggest swapping the rad with the recovery vehicle, so you have to at least upgrade to get the rad. So that's going to delay you in time and fuel, because a 5 minute 30 rad, 6 minute rad is a big issue to deal with. With M13 specifically, with the cheese I was using with Burden, I think a little bit of increased fuel costs, and instead of making them come out every minute, double that to at least every 2 minutes. Because if you make the time between them too long, they're going to become worthless. Because part of what makes them good is that they have increased fire rate together, and obviously light vehicles, late game, just are not going to perform as they need to. And if you're not able to get them out in a significant way, people are just going to get medium heavies and just deal with them. The other big issue, which I think kind of helped spawn what we're seeing with Doc specifically with the Rad, is the American half track is way too early. That thing, when it hits the battlefield, you really have no way to deal with it. And the only way the Americans lose it is if they are just uber aggressive and lose it because of their mistakes, not necessarily because of your plays. So I think that needs delayed. I'm not sure exactly the best way to do that. One thing I think would maybe be beneficial is with the dock, you can't call in your off map units for 6 minutes. I think maybe a global cooldown for any light vehicle. So of course this wouldn't apply to like motorcycles, stuff like the Weasel, but anything that is essentially like an armored car or a light tank, it cannot be built until 6 minutes starts. I think that would go for the half tracks with weapons, not half tracks to reinforce or medical ones, or even like the mortar carriage for either side. And that would help stop a lot of that early cheese. The last and maybe most controversial thing is I don't like how AT guns work in 3 in the current meta. In 2, generally, like 8 minutes, you needed an AT gun on practically any faction you played, with the exception of maybe being Americans. Ironically enough, in 2, you could kind of get around doing the AT gun, but generally in 2, you just needed an AT gun to just deal with light vehicles if they came out, and also just deal with vehicles when they came out. I feel like with 3, what you're kind of forced a lot of times with almost all the factions, how their tier 2s all essentially have an A and B. A lot of times it just doesn't make sense to go the building that has the AT gun, so you have to kind of forfeit it. Or if you go it, then you're kind of foregoing the other tier B. And that just puts you in a weird spot, because it will generally always come down to a meta of, in a game like this, do you go AT or not? If you don't go it, you go tier 2A for this faction. If you do go it, you go tier 2B for this faction. I would like to see, like, once you build your first or second building, like perhaps your second building, and this is faction for all factions, you just get access to AT in your base, and it's your base building. That way everyone has access to it. And I think it needs to not be locked behind upgrades. AT should be something that is encouraged. And if you need to tweak it, it's turn rate or what, which I don't think it needs at this point. AT guns are fairly weak, in my opinion, because you just deal with them with light armor and just drive past them. So that's kind of what I would propose on the fixes to prevent this type of cheese, and cheeses by other factions, because that's the last thing I kind of want to hit on. Is you kind of see what I'm doing, and I know some people are gonna think like I'm just a straight up asshole for playing this way, and I would argue, like, welcome to Company of Heroes 3, and even 2, but to a lesser degree, is if you want to win, you have to play meta strats to some degree. Maybe not 1-to-1, but any RTS at a certain, when you get to a certain skill level, becomes a lot about build order and how you apply it. And I would argue, because before I was using this strat, and I've only been using it, I want to say like 5-6 days, I was losing almost always to airborne. I could not deal with the A half track. The Pathfinders were just often too much. Their free flares and free smoke would deal with my MGs, would give them vision, and vision is king in almost any RTS, specifically Company Heroes 1, 2, and 3, because it allows you to do flanks. It allows you to know what to counter with. If you have artillery, it just constantly forces you to move out of green cover and whatnot. So my point being, if you're not playing these metas, you're going to come across people who are. Whether it's a doc meta I'm doing with a Pioneer Sarad to M13s, or the Airborne doing 4 Pathfinders, a half track, paratroopers, you are just going to not necessarily lose, but your odds of success plummet significantly, because it starts becoming a game of you need your opponent to make mistakes for you to capitalize on, over you making plays to harm the opponent. So that's just my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's all in good fun, and hopefully a lot of these issues get fixed. I'm confident in the future the game is going to continue to get better. I know it sounds a little bit like an excuse, but Company Heroes 2 started off in a really rough spot with a lot of G strats back in the day. A lot of them got fixed, and that's just the nature of most RTSs. Unfortunately, there's always early balance. Stuff's going to get tuned up. Stuff's going to get nerfed too much. And even like when big patches come out, there's still going to always be some cheese in meta. But that's it for me. Catch me on Twitch, twitch.com/Filbert. Check out my YouTube, links below. And here's to some more fun games.